Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at NDN TV Nigeria. Click on the subscribe button and be the first to get notifications.
People's Democratic Party leaders in Delta State have called on opposition party candidates in the March 18 governorship election in the state to concede defeat and support Right Honorable Sheriff Oborevwori and his team to bring about sustainable peace and prosperity for all Deltans. This follows the recent ruling of the Court of Appeal sitting in Lagos, which upheld the earlier verdict of the Election Petitions Tribunal, affirming the victory of Governor Oborevwori as the duly elected governor of the state.
The Court of Appeal sitting in Lagos had dismissed for lack of merit all three petitions brought before it by the governorship candidate of APC, Senator Omo-Agege, his Labour Party counterpart Ken Pela, and candidate of the Social Democratic Party, Gbagi, challenging the earlier verdict of the Justice Chibuzo Ahuchogu-led State Election Petitions Tribunal that affirmed the victory of Governor Oborevwori. Despite having lost twice in his bid to upturn the outcome of the March 18th governorship election in Delta State, the candidate of APC, Senator Omo-Agege, is not giving up in his quest to upturn the outcome of the March 18th governorship election in the state, just as counsel for APC had earlier hinted that their candidate would have his heart in the ring to the very end of the legal battle.
With regard to the governorship election, there is a right of appeal to the Supreme Court, so anybody who is dissatisfied is entitled to appeal to the Supreme Court.
Meanwhile, Labour Party candidate Ken Pela, in expressing his reservations about the judgment, says his team would have to assess their options properly.
We still have one more round to go, and we are going to discuss the issue and determine what next to do.
Some People's Democratic Party leaders in the state who believe that the judgment is a true representation of the will of the people have called on all opposition candidates to join forces with the governor rather than continue in their wild goose chase.
If you don't have a good case, you don't need to come to court. This one has shown that they don't have good case.
My advice for them is to join hands with Oborevwori and take Delta State to the next level through his more agenda.
Governor Oborevwori, who was flanked by his team and political associates at the Thanksgiving service in celebration of the appeal court verdict, is confident that his victory is for the good of the entire state. Reacting to the judgment, PDP and Governor Oborevwori's legal team observed that the appellant had no case to start with, and the outcome of the appeal court has proven that.
All the appeals were totally unfounded, and we are truly glad that the court upheld our arguments that these are matters that should never have come to court to start with. But then they have the right to come to court. What the court will do, examine the evidence and find, rightly as we argued, that there was no basis for these petitions. And so they were dismissed with costs, serious costs.
In another development, Right Honorable Sheriff Oborevwori has called on traditional rulers across the country to emulate the commitment of the Oni of Ife, His Imperial Majesty Oba Adeyeye Eniton Ogunwusi Ojaja II, in promoting peaceful coexistence among various ethnic groups. The governor gave the charge when the Oni led other high-ranking Yoruba traditional rulers to Delta State recently to strengthen the long-standing cultural ties between the Yoruba and the several ethnic groups in the state. Receiving the royal father at his private residence in Asaba, the state capital, Governor Sheriff commended his philanthropic gestures and peace-building efforts that have served as a social bond among various ethnic groups in the country.
Other traditional rulers should emulate your style of leadership in line with giving peace to the people.
On his part, the spiritual leader of the Yorubas and the permanent chairman of the Osun State Council of Obas, Oba Ogunwusi, while giving Right Honorable Oborevwori his royal blessings appealed to all traditional leaders in the state to support the governor, whom he described as a lover of culture and tradition.
At a point in time, there will be a leader. It's always good to rally around that leadership. You know, for every leadership, there will be followers. Everybody can never be a leader. For now, to the glory of God, God has made him. Honor him.
As part of his activities in the state, the monarch also visited the paramount ruler of the ancient Gbaramatu kingdom, His Majesty Oborevwori II Aketekpe Agadagba in Oborevwori South West local government area.
Inside the Niger Delta,